A car pulls into your lane, and the next 2 seconds seem to split into separate moments. You see the other driver's face. Your hands lock around the wheel. The gap closes. You notice the tires, the road edge, the space you might turn into. Then it is over. The clock says almost no time passed, but your memory contains far more than 2 seconds seem able to hold. The obvious explanation is that danger makes your brain run faster, so the outside world appears to slow down. If that were true, your brain would be doing something like a high-speed camera, capturing more visual information inside the same amount of time. Researchers tested that idea during a genuinely frightening event. Participants were dropped backward in a controlled free fall and caught safely in a net. The fall lasted only about 2.5 seconds. Afterward, they estimated that their own fall had lasted much longer than another person's fall, about 36% longer on average. But the experiment included a second test. During the fall, participants wore a device showing numbers that changed too quickly to read normally. If fear had increased their visual processing speed, they should have become better at separating those numbers. They did not. The fall felt longer, but their eyes and brain did not gain the extra time resolution that literal slow motion should provide. So if the brain did not capture more time, where did the extra time come from? To answer that, we have to separate two different things. What happens to time while danger is unfolding, and what happens when the mind rebuilds the event afterward. Start with the moment itself. In ordinary life, your attention is spread across many things. Background noise, familiar objects, unrelated thoughts, and small movements all compete for limited processing. A sudden threat changes the hierarchy. The approaching vehicle matters. The open space beside it matters. Your hands, balance, and direction matter. Much of everything else loses priority. This does not mean your brain suddenly records every detail. It often does the opposite. Arousal can strengthen attention and memory for the central threat while weakening what surrounds it. The dangerous object may appear unusually sharp, while the edges of the scene become vague or disappear entirely. That is not a faster camera. It is a more selective one. And selection changes the internal structure of the moment. An ordinary 2 seconds on the road may contain nothing worth separating. They disappear into the larger journey. But 2 seconds of danger can break into a sequence. You notice the threat. You understand what it means. You choose a response. Your body moves. The danger passes. Each transition feels like a distinct event. The clock still measures one short interval, but the mind now has several meaningful changes inside it. If this changed your perspective, leave a like. Arousal may also distort duration judgments directly. In laboratory studies, threatening or highly arousing images can make short intervals seem longer than neutral images shown for exactly the same time. So at least part of the distortion may begin while the event is still happening. But real emergencies create a second problem. In a laboratory, you may know that time is being tested. During an emergency, you are not tracking seconds. You are tracking survival. Only afterward does someone ask, how long did that last? Now the mind has to estimate duration from whatever the event left behind. And danger does not leave the same kind of memory as ordinary life. Imagine 2 uneventful seconds at a traffic light. Later, there may be almost nothing to retrieve from them. No important decision. No sharp change. No clear beginning or end. They collapse into the rest of the drive. Now imagine 2 seconds in which a collision almost happens. Later, you may remember the approaching car, the turn of the wheel, a face, a sound, the pressure in your chest, and the instant the road opens again. One interval leaves almost no landmarks. The other leaves a chain of them. When the mind later estimates how long something lasted, it does not always consult a precise internal stopwatch. It can use the amount of change and the number of memorable events as clues. A memory containing several important turning points can occupy more mental space than a longer but uneventful period. That can make a short emergency feel much larger in retrospect. But a larger memory is not a complete recording. You may remember the central threat with extreme clarity while getting the background, the order of small details, or even parts of the sequence wrong. The event can feel full without being accurate in every detail. This is the key distinction. When someone says, "Everything slowed down," the report can be completely sincere. But by the time the person describes the experience, perception and memory have already been combined. The freefall experiment exposes that gap. Participants later judged the fall as longer. Yet while they were falling, they did not become better at reading fast-changing visual information. Their remembered duration expanded without evidence that the world had been captured in more visual frames. That does not mean every slow-motion experience is created afterward. Arousal can affect timing judgments during perception itself. Attention can narrow and reorganize the moment while it is happening. But the evidence does not point to one hidden switch that simply speeds up the whole brain. It also explains why dangerous moments do not all feel the same. A sudden near collision is different from waiting under uncertain danger. Brief fear is different from sustained anxiety. Some people describe time stretching. Others remember a blur, missing sections, or an event that seemed to end instantly. There is no single emergency clock that switches on the same way for everyone. A stronger explanation is that danger changes which moments matter, how they are separated, and how large they become in memory. Return to the car entering your lane. Your brain may not have created extra seconds. It may not have recorded the scene at a higher frame rate. Instead, it stripped away what did not matter, divided the threat into a chain of urgent changes, and preserved those changes far more strongly than the moments around them. Later, when your mind reconstructs the event, those 2 seconds occupy the space of something much longer. The clock measured how long the danger lasted. Your memory measured how much happened. Subscribe to Wonder Ledger for more hidden rules of being human. What should we uncover next?